welcome back to it's Jahar. Welcome back to my channel, and we're gonna do another one of my insight books. We're gonna do the second book to the Ghoulfriends series. I'm currently reading the third one, and it doesn't take long to read these, so I'll probably be done soon. And same with the fourth. I might even get done with them tomorrow. We'll see. I also have to finish Wolf Blood though, so I don't know yet, because Wolf Blood's getting off Hulu, so I need to hurry up and finish it. Okay, so this book is called Ghoulfriends. Just want to have some fun. The first one, I don't think I mentioned the last one, is called Ghoulfriends Forever. This one's called Ghoulfriends. Just want to have fun. Rochelle, Rebecca, and Venus. Starts with the new semester. The three ghouls get there early because Rochelle promised to be the tour guide to her friend she met in Scaris. Jennifer Long, who's from she's from Shanghai, and Scalia Calaveras, who's from Hexaco. Jennifer is a Chinese dragon, a Japanese dragon, one of the two, and Scalita is a Mexican skeleton. But they were both in Scaris for vacation before they went to America for Monster High, to go to school in Monster High, and that's where they met Rochelle. She went home for vacation, and she's from Scaris. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last inside book for the first book. Anyways, and they were talking there while they were waiting. Turns out Rochelle and Jennifer and Scalia didn't actually make a plan. Rochelle just thought it was a plan. But as they were waiting, they got into the conversation of what's her name, Miss Flapper, that they don't buy the whole she was under spells 2 thing. So but then they all go inside the school after Jennifer and Scalita don't show up. Well, it's not that they didn't ditch them or anything, just Laguna and Venus get close in this one. The three ghouls get invited to Fightingale Society, which is a all ghouls club where they help people. And there's this project Scare and Care they all had to do. They all had to find a way to help someone or help something. Laguna and Venus agreed to help make a compost pile to help the environment. Rochelle decides to tutor trolls in hygiene and English. And Rebecca decides to teach people Skull-Made Roll Maze. And they find out that Miss Flapper is now rooming next door to them, which they found uneasy. But it's as if everyone forgot about everything, you know, the whisper, and which one of them brings up to some of the ghouls and guys. And then Frankie's like, we didn't forget, it's just it's in the past, let's move on, forget about it. But it wasn't as easy for the three of them inside because they knew that it wasn't over, you know? And I guess that did make it harder to move on. Even if before they knew that, during the 2 months before the Dead X came in at the end of the first book, they still wouldn't forget because it was a part of their history, you know? And like they say, whoever doesn't repeat what was that saying? Whoever doesn't remember history is doomed to repeat it, which is, I guess, kind of the moral of some of the story, at least. Rochelle gave up the whole Mr. Death thing because she realized that he just likes to be depressed. Deuce ends up helping Rochelle with the whole teaching troll things because they don't listen, but they listen to him because they're afraid of him, because at the beginning of the first book, he accidentally turned one of the trolls to stone, so they were terrified of him. So he agreed to help her. She's no longer with Garrett, but she still has a crush on Deuce. It's not as big, but she is still there. And Sai isn't in this book as much. He's in the third and fourth book a lot again. But he kind of just disappeared, which made Rebecca uneasy because she liked kind of having him around, you know, like one of her best friends, like Rochelle and Venus. But since they're next door to Miss Flapper, they end up hearing someone walking in the cross space between their floor in the attic, and they dropped next door to Miss Flapper's room. And then they heard Miss Flapper hissing at her about ruining her plans, and they knew right then that Miss Flapper really was under a spell. I mean, they always suspected it, but they never knew for sure. But at that moment, they knew she was never under a spell. That they realized that there's someone behind this, someone bigger, but that Miss Flapper was definitely still working for them, voluntarily too. And so is this other monster that they had no idea who it is. Yeah, they all have their own activities as they're trying to figure out this whole Miss Flapper thing. And you find out how superstitious they all are, because like black cats and stuff is a bad omen for us. White cats are a bad omen for them, and white bats. And white cats and bats are starting to show up. The logical Rochelle is not superstitious even a little bit, but so she's not afraid of it at all. She's not afraid to pick up the cats and bats or whatever. But everyone else is terrified, even Venus and Rebecca, which makes Rochelle very flustered, especially when she tries to calm the students down in the cafeteria when a white bat comes out flying in. She's like, "Oh, come on, everyone, this is all just nonsense." And they all, of course, don't believe her and start saying crap about her because she's not superstitious like the rest. And, you know, they go to class. One of their first classes they go to was in the catacombs underneath the school, what the art of digging and discovering, where they dig and discover new things. And Rebecca's immediately remembering her father, Hezekiah Steen, who built her, because he was a normie. But go away, not right now. What was I saying? But she remembered her father, and he was in Norway, but he was working on, his project was to create mechanical organs in a normie so that they could live longer and forever even. So, but he went missing, and she doesn't know if he succeeded and is still alive or what happened. So what was I saying? But when they were doing that, Rochelle found a doll of doom, which is what they call, which was the teacher, Mr. It was a mummy. I forgot his name. I want to say Clamison, but I think that I have the wrong teacher. I don't know. But he's like that. It was supposed to be a bad omen back in the old world. And they find a note with spider webs with the same perfume of as well as Flapper wears. I forgot what the note said, something, but it's warning them about them. That's what I keep calling the other people, I guess. Them. Yeah, so, so they're all doing, so, and he says it's probably centuries old, even though it was obviously new. And Rochelle wanted to keep it in her room, which, against her roommate's delight. But eventually, the ghouls get more notes come, more white cats and bats come, and they start getting notes and graffiti notes, and everyone's getting agitated. They even start calling them the person Pranksy, thinking it's one of the students gone wild. But it wasn't. It was a lot different. Only the ghouls inside know. Well, I don't know if Sen knew because he wasn't really around. But eventually Spectra gets an anonymous source saying, oh wait, no. First they get a note on their door saying it's ready time for you to know who they are or something like that. And then people start saying, do they know more than they're letting on? It is a coincidence they were the only people not under the whispering spell, this and that, yeah. But, So that they also have pictures in them. There are pictures for each chapter, and in some of the they have small pictures like this every so often around. They also have a picture at the beginning of each chapter, a big picture, not the little pictures. See, I didn't know if I mentioned that, but yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? So he was on there. Okay. Until Spectre gets an anonymous source. Spectre gets an anonymous source and saying that she got that them is the three ghouls. So everyone was angry. The teachers weren't hostile towards them, even though like Rochelle one time was trying to call in class and Mr. Hack wouldn't call on her because it would only bring up heat in the classroom. So teachers didn't believe these rumors because they were just rumors, and the teachers were more logical than these frantic students. But the students all seemed to believe them. That was them, except for Sai, which they didn't know that at first. Sai disappeared, so they were afraid that maybe he had turned on them just like everyone else. But Sai knows better. That's what I was saying. So yeah, and pretty much the entire school turns on these three ghouls for a stupid rumor, basically. And they talk to Miss Tsunami. Well, she wants to talk to them, and she actually whispers, which surprises them. And she's like, I was hoping maybe you guys have seen something with being next to Miss Flapper. You find out she also didn't believe the whole Miss Flapper under a spell thing. They even tried one in the head, Miss Bloga, but she turned out to believe it. Miss Tsunami did not. And that's what Bean was like, seen something? No. Heard something? Yes. So Miss Tsunami asked them to elaborate, and they explained someone crawling into her room, and then Miss Flapper going off fabricating her plan, and yeah. So Miss Tsunami was suspicious as well, even though she's, how should I put this, not the nicest monster. She's definitely someone you want on your side because she's skeptical. She's skeptical, and she'll believe something like this when no one else did. You know, eventually, at the very end of the book, not the very end, but close enough, they were about to go to the Vampire Theater for the X Factor talent show. That's when they run into Sai, and Rebecca gets all angry, saying, you disappeared just like everyone else because you think we're them. And he's like, I did disappear, but it was because I was trying to get the courage to ask you to sit next to me, and I thought that was so sweet because it's Sai, he's so shy, and I love him, and Rebecca's so sweet, and they belong together. And I'm gonna stop talking now, but I really ship it. I do. I ship it. Okay, where was I? Moving on from Rebecca and Sai. As much as I ship it, because I do. So the four of them sit together and they were the only ones. There was like a whole bunch of empty seats next to around them because no one wanted to sit next to them. It was really sad. I mean, they didn't do anything. They saved the school, and they're just outcasted just like that. I mean, seriously. Okay. So, but then after a couple acts, Cleo and Torla run in saying how because they were the co-hosts of the talent show, which was not fun because all they ever want to do is fight. Oh, I forgot to mention. How could I forget to mention? Jennifer and Skeleta end up becoming under Miss Flapper's spell. Not the whisper spell like the first time. It was different. They still had their emotions and free will. But it's like they were enthralled by her. It's like a spell, but a different one, you know? And they were always around her, always with her, and they believed she was this amazing person. The three ghouls even tried to spy on Miss Flapper. Didn't always work. Anyways, moving on. So, Cleo and Torla come running in, saying how, Miss Fluggo was, that there was a note, and Miss Fluggo was kidnapped by normies, and the normies, built a wall. They were having a sleepover too at school. I forgot to mention because of the storm. But anyways, so yeah, because they always wanted them to build a wall so that the creatures are stuck and pretty much caged, so they don't have to deal with them. And everyone started freaking out. You know, a big part of their school is gone. Mrs. Bloodgood, and the normies are threatening them, and they're all frantic. The four of them, Rochelle, Venus, Rebecca, and Cy, do not believe that. On the other hand, they know more than everyone else. It's not like anyone's going to listen to them, especially now with this so-called evidence. So the Spectre talks to them, saying how she's sorry about her blog or whatever about the three of them being them, and her anonymous source was wearing a mask but was dressed and smelled just like Miss Flapper. So she thought she was doing it for a teacher, so she thought she had no other choice. But she's told them that she followed Miss Flapper into the attic where she found a sleeping spider, but it wasn't just a tiny itty bitty spider, it was a huge one, daughter of an arachnid. And they figured that's why they never see any spiders, but seen a lot of spider webs, and why all the notes and whatnot that they find always are covered in spider webs, yet they see no spiders. That was in this book, right? That wasn't at the end. First book. Bleh. That was the end of this book. And they didn't believe that it was normies, which I already mentioned. So yeah, that's this book. It's really good. And I suggest you read it. Obviously read the first book first. So please like and subscribe and comment what you thought about this book. You know, do you share Rebecca and Cy like I do? What are your thoughts on everything Miss Flapper's doing, and how they were all outcasted even though they saved everyone, and pretty much anything that has to do with this book. So, until next time.